YouTube, how's it going? Welcome back to Paul's Wrath. My name is JD, and today we're continuing with our playthrough of Pokémon Crystal in order the Pokédex. We just played through with one of the best Pokémon Generation 2, Scizor. The optimized and regular playthroughs, they were very fun. One of the best designs in Generation 2, one of the best Pokémon Generation 2 overall. Very fun, but today we're going to be playing through the exact opposite of that Pokémon. For every Scizor you have, a Shuckle. Shuckle is a Pokémon that I would consider just a step below Gimmick. Gimmick Pokémon only has one or two strategies you can use, and it's really difficult Pokemon to play through. As Ditto is an example of that. Wobbuffet is another example. I think, was it Shedinja is another Pokemon like that. This Pokemon is not quite a gimmick. It's got a gimmick, but I don't think it's a gimmick Pokemon. Let's go over the stats really quick. HP is 20, attack is 10, defense and special defense are both 230. Special attack is 10, and speed is 5. This Pokemon has some really abysmal stats, but its defense stats are through the roof. I don't know if you guys knew this. I didn't know this until I researched this video. But this Pokemon is known as the Mold Pokemon. M-O-L-D, Mold. That's really not a great endorsement. You know, this Pokemon's known as the stuff that happens when you leave pizza out too long. But let's dive into this playthrough. First battle of the game is going to be against our rival as per tradition. Our rival's name is Triple Question Mark. That's what we named him. That's what he named himself, actually. And now we're going to go into this battle. Now, we didn't fight any battles before this, and for good reason. And I'll go over that here in a minute. But our rival, we gave him a Totodile because we are weak to water. We're only weak to 3 things. That is water, steel, and rock. That's the 3 things that we're weak to. I don't know why we're weak to rock. I mean, you think we counter that because we are rock type, but we are weak to rock, steel, and water. That's why we chose Totodile. And this battle is just a battle of attrition. We did withdraw just up our defense a little bit, so Scratch didn't do a lot of damage. He also will occasionally go for Leer, so that kind of counters out the Leer a little bit. And we just go for Constrict. Constrict is a 10 base power move. It is absolutely abysmal, and it's just horrible. And we have to equip a berry to win this battle. So as you can see, we're just whittling down this Pokemon. It is what it is. There's not much you can do with it. I named our Pokemon Shucks because we are Shuckle, and all Shucks we might win this, we might lose this, but it really, ultimately, we're just not going to gain damage done to us. He might crit occasionally, so that could be the thing, but we just outpace it, and we have to have a berry to outpace. If we didn't have a berry, we'd lose this battle almost immediately, but we get the win, and we're going to move and progress on. Now, a couple things about this playthrough. I don't know if you know this or not. So if you ever play through Crystal, that battle right there, we immediately heal. We immediately are healed right after the battle. There's 3 places in this game where you automatically get healed. I don't ever show this, but whenever you leave the Professor Elm's lab or whatever, you go talk to Bill and you go talk to Professor Oak. You get healed after that. So if we'd have fought a bunch of Pokemon, we got healed right after that. Okay, that's why I usually don't like to do a lot of training, or some Pokemon will do a lot of training because I'll get healed immediately and I don't have to worry about going back to Poke Center. That's one. After that battle with our rival we just had, if we get healed again. And there's one more battle that we have that we get healed. And that's again with Kurt, and that's right before you face Bugsy, or the second rival. So we get healed there. So we didn't want to deplete all of our power points. So the strategy with this Pokemon is we want to deplete all of our power points, and we want to go ahead and face these trainers and use the move Struggle. Struggle is a 50 base power move. So with Constrict, you just saw how long it took us to beat Totodile. Look how much faster Struggle is. Now Struggle, whatever we deal damage-wise, we get dealt back to ourselves a quarter of that damage. So if we do 4 damage, we're going to do 1 to ourselves. If we do 3 damage, we're going to do 1 to ourselves. 2, 1, all those will all do 1 damage to us. We do 5, so we're going to do 1. Okay, so that's how it works. So once we start doing a lot more damage, we'll do a little bit more damage to ourselves, but you can kind of tell what we're doing to the opposition. We're doing about, I think that was about 6 or 7, because if you look at its health, it was 13, and we only did 1 damage to ourselves. So this is a much more efficient strategy. We'd have to complete all the power points. That's inefficient. But it's much better to do the battles this way rather than trying to fight with Constrict. If you did that, we'd have to use pretty much a berry in every battle, so that's not something I want to do. This Pokemon, let's talk a little bit more about it. We're Bug Rock. Like I said, we have 3 weaknesses: rock, steel, and water. We also have 2 resistances. We are resisted to normal and poison types, so that's good. That's something that's going to be useful throughout the course of the game. Now, being poisoned is actually very bad for this Pokemon, and you'll see that when it comes to some resets. And we're level 9 right now. We're in a medium slow growth rate, which is actually pretty decent for a playthrough. So I'll accept that. And, I just wanted the stats. I don't have to go over that. Now, we just added Wrap. Wrap is a slightly better version of Constrict, but we have less accuracy, so it's not as reliable. So just like with the other moves, we want to deplete all these power points. We want to get it out of there and revert back to Struggle. Eventually, Struggle will phase itself out. Once we get past Bugsy's gym and our second rival, we will no longer have the use for Struggle. We'll actually have legitimate moves where we can actually come up with some real strategies to win battles rather than the strategy that we're having at this very moment. Struggle, you have to have a lot of potions. That's something we also have to do as well. Now, you're going to watch this battle here, and this is okay. This battle is fine because Wrap it gives us the ability to not have to deplete some of our power points. And I think we lose this battle here. I think you're going to see a loss here because we don't have enough HP left to finish this battle. So you're going to see a loss. We take a blackout here. It's not a big deal. And this Pokemon is just a slog. So keep that in mind. It's one of the longest videos I've done in Generation 2 in a long time because there's a lot of things we have to explain. Now, I do have the luxury of having the internet and having YouTube and things like that. So I've seen other YouTubers play through this Pokemon. I've watched Scott's Thoughts. I've watched JRose11. I've watched Squidgy. All three of their links, by the way, are down in my description down below. And we're moving right into Faulkner's gym. We didn't skip over Bellsprout Tower. We definitely did. I'm just not showing it because it's a lot of time. Like, we've already gone 3 minutes and almost 4 minutes, and we've barely talked or showed anything else other than just talking a little bit about the early strategies. The early strategy, struggle. It's a decent strategy. It's the best strategy for this Pokemon. It's the most time-consistent strategy, and it basically leaves a lot of things of avoidance of chance. And that's the biggest thing about this Pokemon is a lot of things are chance. There's nothing consistent here. It's just, you got to do it. Now, this battle with our rival, Faulkner, is a slog. And you're going to see it here in a minute. It's very bad. And it's going to showcase kind of just a real problem with this Pokemon. Actually, if it didn't have a move that lowered our accuracy, this wouldn't be that bad of a battle against Faulkner. But you're going to see here. And I'm going to speed up the footage. That way we're not spending 4 or 5 minutes watching this. So here's the strategy here. We're going for struggle. That's it. We just got to spam A. But Faulkner here has the move Mud Slap. Mud Slap, every time it hits, it lowers our accuracy by 1 stage. So we are -6 on accuracy. And we are just spamming struggle, and we don't hit at all. We had a berry equipped, so we already got our health brought back. So we lose to Faulkner 1 time. That's our first reset. And we have the same thing happen again. It's nothing you can do with this. Unless we critical hit and knock out the Pidgey on the first try. I mean, Pidgeotto is going to do the same exact thing because it also has Mud Slap. We are rock type, so it's effective. That's why it's going to go for it. It doesn't make sense to go for tackle because we're resisted to it. Gust, maybe. I mean, like Pidgeotto, for example, is going for Gust. But either one of them will do damage. But if we got through Pidgey without taking any accuracy, I think we would win this pretty easy because Pidgeotto just seems to be going for Gust. So that's the problem right now. Because we're getting our accuracy low, and there's nothing we can do to avoid that unless we knock out the Pidgey like right away. So it's just a battle of attrition. It's a battle of sheer luck. Once we get our accuracy lowered, it is really a crapshoot on whether we're going to attack the opposition or not attack the opposition. And as you can see here, we're going through again, and we got very close to Pidgeotto. We got down to 1 health. We got it down to probably like 2 or 3 health, very close. And now we're going to go one more time. And I think we slow it down whenever we actually are going to win this battle. I think we do that. See, we got a critical hit right there, so our accuracy is not lowered. So now look how well this battle goes. We still have to use our berry, but that's not a big deal. Our accuracy is only -2. So that's the drastic example of how different that is. We move on to Azalea Town after we beat Faulkner, and with this, we're going to showcase something real quick. So you look on the right side of the screen. I'm going to pause it real quick. So this is a time of 2 hours and 2 minutes and 46 seconds. This is the playthrough I did technically before the one you're watching right now. This playthrough had a lot of things going wrong with it. First thing I had is I've been having an issue with my controller, which you're going to see later in this video. I'm going to show you the kind of issues I've been having with my controller. It's been costing me a lot of time because there's a bunch of playthroughs I've been trying to do in Generation 1 with the rock types. Haven't been able to get them done because the controller has been so bad. That's been throwing off a lot of my playthroughs. It's been so bad, it's like been costing me. I've had a Pokemon, like for example, Kabutops, that I played through, and it took me more time because of all the screw-ups from the maneuvering with the controller. It's not been fun. It's been, I don't know what to call it, like drag or whatever, but if I hit up and the controller just hits up and goes down, but it's been dragging, and it's been like, he'll go up 2 spots. You'll see it in the Morty Gym. I'm going to show you the Morty Gym and how bad the maneuvering's been, and that's been costing me time in a lot of my videos lately. And I had to switch back to a wired controller. It's a Switch controller. I actually played through a couple weeks ago with it, but this one's not dragging, so it's going to solve a lot of that problem. So that's good. But that's part of the problem. There's also some technical issues that were going on, but 48 resets. I want to talk about that while we're watching this portion of the game. So 48 resets. We did go through Union Cave. We fought everyone in Union Cave. Now we're fighting in the well right now. So I don't like to talk about these battles because it's all the same strategy. We're just using struggle, and that's not what's important. What is important is I talked about a little while ago about other YouTubers like Scott's Thoughts, Squidgy. Those are the 2 I watch the most, and I also watch some other ones out there. Those are the 2 I watch the most, JRose11 and Dry Bread. But Scott's Thoughts playthrough. His playthroughs are most like mine. Hell, I'm using his overlay. So that's why I kind of cater mine kind of like how he plays and is as close to him as possible without exactly mimicking it. But he played through, and he came up with a strategy. Now, I'm not throwing any shade here. Don't misinterpret this. His strategy is what he said is the best strategy for this portion of the game. He is 100% correct. It is the best strategy. The problem with the strategy, though, is it's 100% a crapshoot. The strategy of this Pokemon is you got to use Struggle to get through Bugsy. There's not a great move you have at this point in the game. At that, when you're looking at the thing I had from my playthrough I did before this one where I had all the screw ups, I do have rollout at this point. Well, you don't get rollout until you got to get through this gym and through your second rival battle before you can get rollout. There's also Headbutt, but you can't get any of those things until you beat Bugsy. There's very limited moves you can add. The only moves you can really add up to this point is I think you can get Mud Slap, and that's pretty much it. You can't add any other moves that are helpful unless we code in an HM or something, or a TM, which we can't do. And right now we're fighting this trainer right here. This is Hiker Anthony, I think so. Yep, Hiker Anthony. I avoided him initially because he does have some rock moves here, and he does have some fighting Pokemon. I thought they might be a problem, but we do beat him pretty easily, and we get the win, or we can knock out the Geodude, I should say. But here's the problem with this strategy: it's a complete crapshoot. You're going to see a battle against Bugsy where it takes me a couple tries to get through. The problem with Bugsy is you're going to have a couple things that can derail this battle. The first thing that can derail this battle is you can get poisoned by the Kakuna. If Kakuna poisons you, you gotta take a reset. You don't have enough damage, or you don't have enough HP. That's one of the problems with a high defense, high special defense Pokemon, is usually when you have a Pokemon like that, you have really low actual HP. If you look at Onix, Onix has amazing defense. I think it's 160, but then it has very low HP. And the same with Steelix. Steelix doesn't have as low as Onix, but it's not great either. A lot of Pokemon with really high defense or special defense, they counter that by having very low HP. Wobbuffet's the opposite. Wobbuffet has like none of those things, but it has a lot of HP. Pokemon, we can't get poisoned, so that's the first problem with this. The second problem we have, now here's where I was talking about earlier, we get another heal. So we get healed after this. So we have to go deplete our power points now. Now a great strategy to deplete our power points is to go into this well right here. I'm not doing that, I'm not going to show you that. But if you go into that well right there and you have the old rod, what you can do is you can actually fish for a Magikarp. And Magikarp is a lot easier to spam all your stuff. Magikarp has Splash, that's all it has. Splash is 40 power points. So you can deplete all your power points and then get back to 0 very quickly if you do that. I mean, quickly is like a couple minutes, but that's better than fighting a whole bunch of battles and trying to spam out all your wraps and things like that. If you just do that, it's very fast. So that's how we got all of our power points depleted. You're going to watch some battles in here. I don't know if I'm going to cut them out. Do I cut them out? I don't remember. I don't think I do. I think I actually showcased the battles. Am I? Yep, okay. You're going to see the battles. So the strategy here is you can only use Struggle. So if you get poisoned, you got to reset. We don't have enough hit points to take on poison damage and take hits from the opposition. The other thing is what you're waiting on is you're getting through Metapod and Kakuna, and you want to get through them without getting poisoned. And then when you get to the Scyther, what you want to do is you want to just wait for Fury Cutter to miss. Now here's where I was showcasing that 48 resets. 35 of those battles were me fighting Bugsy and Scyther not missing one stinking Fury Cutter. Fury Cutter is a 95% accurate move, so it does have great accuracy. It's not 100%, but it's very accurate. But the fact that you're going to see in this playthrough that we're going to have Rollout, which is a 90% accurate move, and it misses all the freaking time. And it really had me infuriated. When I'm playing through fighting Bugsy and I'm like waiting for this strategy, I'm like, Scott, that said you just got to wait for it a couple turns. Like, I'm like, 5 times, 6 times, 10 times, 15. It was a slog to get through. It really was a slog. It was very frustrating, and you can just imagine how livid I was. It took 30. There's more than 35 attempts actually, because we got poisoned a couple times. So those are immediate resets. Then when you get to the final Pokemon, and you just need him to miss Fury Cutter like one stinking time. Like that's all I need. Just miss Fury Cutter like one stinking time, and we win, and we can progress on. So it's really just aggravating. Okay. And right now, we got to keep all of our power points. We got to deplete the power points again because we just got Safeguard. Safeguard's a great move to have, so you want to keep it. You don't want to skip over and just keep Encore. Not that useful. So we're going to spam out all of our power points against Magikarp. Now we're going to face Bugsy. And you're going to see all the Bugsy battles. There's not as many in this playthrough. But I just want to let you know that that's the frustration of 48 resets before we got through like the second gym league. That's the frustration that I had. I don't remember if I speeded up. No, I don't. Because this battle isn't that bad. Struggle was a 2-hit on the Metapods. That's good. If we go into this battle, and I think we have more HP, that's what sends out Scyther. I don't know the consistency there. So we get poisoned, so we got to take a reset there. Metapod comes out again. We're going to go for Struggle. I'm going to talk a little bit more about this. I think the amount of HP we have is what triggers Bugsy to bring in Scyther or to bring in Kakuna. So we have 49 HP, and now Scyther. I think it's if you have like a certain amount of your HP brings in Scyther. Now he crit there, Struggle is not doing that much, but if he just misses Fury Cutter, it resets all the things he's doing. So we take a reset here, and we're going to go ahead and try it again. This is not as bad as the original one. If you saw the original one, you'd be as frustrated as I am, man. But I just wanted to mention that was a problem. And like I said, Scott's thought strategy is the best strategy for this battle. He is 100% correct. Okay, there really is nothing that triggers this, because we have the same amount of hit points against Kakuna last time, and he brought out a Scyther. So it's completely random. Take a poison there, so that's another reset. I don't mind the getting poisoned one because that's quick. That's almost like very fast. It's a couple seconds, but it's Scyther. We got to get through all the way through Scyther. And we're almost at the point that the brink of victory, and Scyther knocks us out. That one frustrates me. That just takes more time. I'd rather just get poisoned right away if it's going to happen, and then let's progress on. So right now he's not hitting us with Poison Sting yet. String Shot lowers our speed. We're okay with that. We don't get poisoned. Good. We have 36 hit points going into the Scyther. We just got to hit the Scyther, and he needs to miss a Fury Cutter. That's the big thing right now. Fury Cutter doesn't miss. Does not miss yet. Does he miss this one? He does not. So we get knocked out again. So right there, we've already had 4 resets on Bugsy. We had 3 resets originally on Faulkner. Now we're on 4 resets. We get a crit. That's nice. And we knock out the Metapod. And Metapod gets us down to about 49 to 48 hit points every single time. And now comes out with Scyther. I think this is the one where we actually win against Scyther, because I think he misses this next one here. And we have a decent amount of hit point. Yep, there we go. So once he misses, he just doesn't have enough build up to actually do a lot of damage to us. And since we're doing so well, and even if Kakuna poisons us here, I think we have enough to get through this battle. So we actually do beat Bugsy on a pretty decent time this time. So 4 compared to like 35 or 40 is much better. And with that, we're going to leave here and go face our second rival battle. Now the second rival battle, we're not going to use Struggle. I'm actually going to showcase this battle with Struggle, just so you guys see it. But Struggle is not the strategy here. You can't use it, because you don't have enough hit points. You don't have enough hit points, we can put to sleep. There's a lot of things that can go bad here. We can get licked, we can get paralyzed, and Crocodile has a super effective move against us. The thing about Bugsy, if Bugsy didn't have Fury Cutter, we'd obliterate Bugsy because it only had normal moves. But with this Pokemon, Crocodile, it has Water Gun, and Water Gun is super effective, so we got to have a much more efficient way of knocking out. We do knock it out, don't get me wrong, we just don't have enough hit points. So maybe if we had a Berry, we might have done well, but if we unequip the Pink Bow, we don't do as much damage. So what we do is we do heal up, and now we're going to face our rival. Took 1 reset to our rival, and then what we're going to do is, first thing we're going to do is go for Gas, we're going to go for Mud Slap, and Mud Slap is in the range of a 2-hit. Very good, we get the knockout over Gas, so that's pretty nice. Now Crocodile comes out. Now we're going to go for Mud Slap on Crocodile because we're going to lower its accuracy. We don't want to get hit continuously by Water Gun. So with it's actually lowered, now here's the thing about it's actually being lowered. It still hits a lot of Water Guns through -6 accuracy. We've hit this Pokemon at least 4 times. Now we're at 5 or 6 actually lowering, and we are still taking damage from it. Now what I want to hear is if you do Wrap will do passive damage every turn, so you don't want to keep doing Wrap. Mud Slap's a lot more powerful. Not a lot more powerful, but a little bit more powerful. So with that strategy, we actually get through the Crocodile pretty easy. And now we just want to Wrap on the Zubat. And yeah, this is pretty much it. Zubat can't do a lot of damage to us. The worst thing it can do to us is Supersonic. It could bite us, I guess, and outspeed us. But we outspeed it by 1 right now because we're over leveled. We get the win over our rival, and we're going to progress right on to Goldenrod City. After we beat Bugsy and after we beat our second rival, the game really does pick up because now we can use legitimate strategies like TMs. I don't want to sit here and poo-poo the struggle strat because it's very consistent. You know what you're getting out of it. As long as you just prepare yourself properly, it's not a bad strategy. It actually got us through the game relatively quick compared to using Constrict. I mean, I would like to see someone, I might actually do that. I'm just going to play through with Constrict and Wrap and see how long it takes us to get through those battles. I guarantee we lose. So we just picked up 3 TMs. We picked up Headbutt, we picked up Rollout, and we picked up Dig. And now we're talking to this lady right here. She can give us Quick Claw. It'll come in handy. I did not explain this, but we have the Pink Bow with this Pokemon. The Pink Bow we can actually go get right after you beat Faulkner. You can backtrack and gives us a 10% boost to our normal moves, but it actually works on Struggle. Struggle is actually considered technically normal type, so it actually gives a boost to it. We are now facing Whitney, and we are using a strategy called Rollout. If you don't know Rollout, Rollout is a move that doubles its output of damage every turn. It is 90% accurate, so it's pretty accurate, but in this game, I just don't feel like it doesn't feel 90% accurate to me, I'm going to be honest with you. And we are at the point we don't have to face everyone anymore. We don't have to face every trainer. We can actually progress through the game pretty well. We still have Mud Slap. Mud Slap is a move we need to actually get through a battle later, so I've been hanging on to it. Dig is more powerful, I get that, but it's just something I have to hang on to. We barely beat Sudowoodo, the rock tree thing, so we're going to go ahead and use a Super Potion here, and we're going to go ahead and progress on to the next part of the game, which is the Komodo Girls. Now, we did go to Lake of Rage. In Lake of Rage, we are not using Hidden Power. In this playthrough, I mean, Hidden Power Rock might actually be useful. On my next playthrough, I'm not doing an optimized playthrough of this Pokemon, but I may have a different strategy. While we're here, I do want to ask everyone, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to this channel. If you like this video, it gets out to more people. Commenting gets out to more people as well. Let me know what you think. What's a strategy you think I should use with Shuckle? I think the strategy I use is actually a pretty good strategy. It's just about a little bit of RNG, a little bit of luck-based. It's a little bit of just waiting for all the stars to align, more or less. But let me know what you think about the strategy with this. I do have an idea for a different strategy with this Pokemon that I'm not going to play through with an optimized playthrough, but just maybe in the future, see if I can get a little bit better output out of this Pokemon, a little bit more consistency out of this Pokemon. Let me know what you think. And obviously, if you subscribe, it tells me and YouTube you're willing to come back and watch my videos. I really do appreciate it. I have gotten some decent subscribers, up to 636, thanks to what I'm at right now. But we're going to move on to our third rival battle. Third rival of this game, and our rival's going to come out with a Haunter. What we're going to go through right away is go for Rollout. Rollout, we have the Quick Claw equipped just in case we can go first. Now, he cursed us, so what we want to happen right now is we want to hit with Rollout. I think we're just going to take a reset right here. Yeah, quick reset. There's no point in trying to work that battle out. It's going to waste our time. I mean, wasting time is not a problem with this Pokemon. It's a Pokemon where we don't have a lot of things going for us. Anyway, it's going to be a long playthrough regardless, so it doesn't really matter. Rollout, we should knock out the Crocodile here. And then we should one-shot both of these Pokemon. One-shot the Magnemite, and Zubat is super weak to it. So even if we had the reset, it'd probably still knock it out. Get the win over a third rival. A second try attempt. Got it done. Very good. And now here you're going to see a little bit of the maneuvering going bad. So I went out and healed. Look at this. I'm just hitting the button one time, going each direction, and I keep getting these issues. And this is not me messing around, I promise you. I'm trying so hard to do this, and I've never had problems with this until this remote started dragging. And that's the only way I can describe it. I don't know if the buttons were sticking or the response wasn't going well because it's Bluetooth. I don't know. But this is getting very frustrating. And I was just trying to get through this. It probably took about 2 minutes to get through this, to be honest with you. And the battles here were pretty good. They were actually good experience. And you're just seeing the frustration I have just trying to get through all this. And I wanted to showcase this to you because this is affecting time. In this video, it's not that big a deal. This Pokemon's going to take forever anyway. So it's not as big a hindrance for this Pokemon. But when I'm playing through and trying to get my second playthroughs done with my Rock-type challenge in Generation 1, it's going to be a problem because it just adds time because the maneuverability throughout the game is costing me time. But now we're going to go ahead and face Morty. Now that maneuverability doesn't actually have any effect in battle because I can just choose the moves pretty well. So we knock out Ghastly. We knock out the Haunter. We are cursed. So we're on the clock here. We're at 69 nice hit points. Very nice. And we hit the Gengar. Quick Claw activated there. We knock out the Gengar. And do we knock out the Haunter? We do. So Rollout's a very good strategy when it works. When it doesn't work, that's the problem because it's inconsistent. Right now, we do have some consistency because we have Return on our moveset. We also have Mud Slap. Those are 100% accurate moves. But Rollout, like I said, Rollout is a little bit of a crapshoot. There's also a little bit of setup that comes with Rollout later. So you have to rely on the opposition not messing with you until then. So now we're going to go ahead and face Chucky Boy. Chucky Boy, we're going to go for Safeguard. That's so he can't put us to sleep or confuse us with Poliwrath. We're going to go for Rollout, and by the time we get our Rollout built all the way up, we're going to be fine. And we're going to Karate Chop doing nothing to us. We're fine here. We knock out the Primeape, very good, and then Poliwrath comes out. Is it a one-shot on the Poliwrath? It is not. It's so close. However, let's go for a turn, knock it out, finish it off. Pretty easy, pretty convincing win over Chucky Boy. We do get the win, and we're going to progress right on to Lake of Rage. We're going to face the Red Gyarados. Red Gyarados really isn't a Pokemon that's going to be a problem. It does have a move that is a problem. Let me rephrase that, because it does have Dragon Rage. However, it goes for Thrash. Probably the worst move it has for us, because we are resistant to normal type moves, but nonetheless, we have to knock out. Then we're going to face Price. Price is the Ice Gym leader. We did face all the members in his gym, and he's going to come out with a Seal. We're going to go ahead and go for a Rollout on the Seal. Very good. Now, I think Dugong is weak to rock moves because it's Ice type. Seal is not an Ice type. Seal is just water. Actually, Piloswine is also weak to us because it's Ice type. And we're going to hit Rollout on the Piloswine. Now we're just going to hit one more hit on the Dugong. And nope, we restarted. Okay, so we had to reset. Now there's a really good move we can actually get with Rollout. It's called Defense Curl, but we can't get that till we get by, I think it's Claire's gym. But we're going to move right on and face Jasmine. Now Jasmine is a tricky battle because Jasmine has Steel types, and we are actually weak to Steel. Now it doesn't do a heck of a lot of damage to us. However, we do one-shot the we two-shot the Magnemite. It misses Thunder Wave. I probably should have gone for Safeguard there, but we don't deal too much with it, and we've added the soft sand to make our mud slaps a little bit more effective. But here's the problem: we don't do a lot of damage to the Steelix. Whether that's because the move is weak or because we have low attack, I mean either one, and it has high defense. So all three of those things combined for mud slap, barely tickling Steelix. But what it does do is it lowers its accuracy. And the strategy in this battle is you just want to make sure it's actually so lowered he can't hit Iron Tail. Now, Iron Tail is hitting like all the time. It is a 70% accurate move. It's not like Fury Cutter. Fury Cutter, you can argue 95% accurate. It's not going to miss very often because it's 95% accurate. Steelix has a move, Iron Tail, that is 70% accurate, and he's -6 on the accuracy, and he still hits back-to-back moves. It's insane. Like, the accuracy of this move at this point in the game is probably like 12% by the time we get through all the mud slaps that we have. So we knock out the Magnemite again. And what's going to happen here with this battle is we're going to keep going for mud slap. It's no other choice we really have. And after mud slaps, we've exhausted all the power points. We got to resort to rollout. And rollout is resisted by Steelix because it's a rock type move. So it's not a lot of great moves here. And return can't do anything either. It acts as the most powerful move we have, technically, against them. But it doesn't do a lot of damage. Look how little mud slap's doing. I mean, return's not going to do much more. So that's the problem we have. It's a battle of attrition, a little bit of luck here, and he knocks us out again. So what I decided to do is I'm going to get rid of return eventually and add dig. Dig is not much more powerful, but it is 60 base power rather than only being 20 base power like Mud Slap. And it's actually going to be more effective against Steelix because, you know, he's weak to ground moves. So Mud Slap is still doing its job. We want to keep Mud Slap because it's still going to lower accuracy. And we're going to have to get rid of return. We need rollout for later strategies. This is where I want to try something different in another playthrough. Is because when we have rollout, everything has to cater to rollout. You basically roll out or bust later in this game. That's what you're at that point. Is a rollout or bust, and we have to rely on that, which means everything goes towards that. We get defense curl because it makes rollout more effective. We get safeguard because we can just use rollout. Okay, I want to use other moves. So like right now, if I didn't have dig, or if I didn't have rollout and I had dig and then return, I'd still have return to have consistency for future battles. That's where my mind goes with this. Now, I get it. Rollout is a move that just gets so powerful, you basically can sweep a team. But the accuracy on that move is just something that really got to me whenever I was playing this. So we lose again to Jasmine, and this is a trend. But now we've added dig. We got rid of return. If we want return, we technically can go get another return when we go to Kanto. You can buy one there. But I think we just got to stick with this strategy. It's an all-in strategy. And if you don't go all in on this strategy, it's going to have a really bad effect on us. So Mud Slap's still working. He still hits Iron Tail. And we're still working on with Mud Slap. We got his actually lowered pretty low at this point. And what we want to do at some point is we're going to start going for dig. And Iron Tail, the other thing about Iron Tail is once you get so far into the battle, so she's going to heal once you get to red health. She's going to heal like it just happened right there. And so it prolongs the battle. And Iron Tail, the problem with Iron Tail is Iron Tail has I'm losing my mind. Let me correct this right now. Iron Tail has X amount of power points. I don't remember how much it is off the top of my head, but what you're doing right now is we're basically making it use all of its Iron Tail power points. So at some point it will stop using Iron Tail and it'll switch to Rock Throw. We're technically still weak to Rock Throw, but I'd rather use Rock Throw than Iron Tail because Iron Tail, look at its effective power, 300, whereas Rock Throw is only 100. That's what it says right there. So that's what we're trying to do. Now dig, we're still using dig, and we have 2 power points left on dig, so that's kind of scary. But we do knock out the Steelix, and I got a little bit scared here for a second because he came out with another Pokemon. I only have 11 hit points left. I'm like, oh yeah, we do have one more Pokemon. Knock out the Magnemite, beat Jasmine, and then we're going to head on to the next battle of this game, which is against our rival in Goldenrod City. Our rival, we're going to save right before. This is not a foregone conclusion. We saw using some pretty risky strategies, so our rival comes out, and he's going to lead out with a Golbat. Now, what we should have done is just go for a rollout and just go for broke right away. However, we try to go for safeguard because I'm trying to prevent myself from getting confused, just like what happened here. And that's what I was trying to prevent. I was also trying to prevent myself from getting paralyzed by Thunder Wave or paralyzed by Lick, so on and so forth. But eventually we are going to get our rollout going. And Golbat is weak to rollout, so we missed there. So this is where the 9% accurate really frustrates me because I feel like we miss a lot more than we should. Feraligatr comes out next. We are weak to Feraligatr, and we got to restart again. Rollout. And there we go. And I think he's going to knock us out here. We're going to lose to our 4th rival battle. We never lose this battle. So this is how frustrating this Pokemon can be. But nonetheless, we're going to start this again. And this time we actually go for broke and just go for the move. And we miss rollout again. 90% accurate move. Do you see my frustrations when we're looking at Fury Cutter hitting 30 plus in a row of a move that's 95% accurate? and I keep missing the rollout consistently, and it's very frustrating. And you have Steelix, who has Iron Tail, and he's consistently hitting Iron Tail, a 70% accurate move, who has it actually lowered like 6 times. Very frustrating. We knock out the Magnemite, and we have to restart again because rollout missed again. This is why I want a strategy where it's more consistent. If this was, I mean, Return wouldn't hit Haunter there, but if it was a move like Dig would be more consistent and would actually hit because it's 100% accurate. So we beat our rival, and it's part of our Claire rival sandwich, and we're facing Claire now. Claire, we're going to go ahead and go for Safeguard. So Safeguard, we protect ourselves from getting paralyzed. That's good. And now we're going to start rolling out. Surf is not doing that much damage, even though we are weak to it. We are still pretty strong defensively, and even though 69 hit points, very nice. And we're going to knock out the Dragon. We knock out the first Dragonair. We're going to knock out the next Pokemon. We're going to knock out the Kingdra, and we got our actually lowered there, so that's not fun. But we do knock out the Kingdra on the next turn. I wish I had a counter for rollout, so you knew which rollout you were on. And here's the best way to tell. We're going to go ahead and go for Surf. We'll go for Rest. So Rest is going to clear us of all the ailments that we have. We got paralyzed by the Dragonair. All the Dragonairs have Thunder Wave. It's kind of annoying. But now we're going to go for Safeguard. Now we can't get paralyzed. Now we're just going to set up Dig again. There's one Dig. Dig number 2. Dig number 3. Knock out the Dragonair. And we should knock out the the last Dragonair as well. Very good. First try victory over Claire. We just got to make the strategy work. Rest works very well with this Pokemon because of how much health we have. Unless we're facing a Pokemon that does super effective damage, which, Surf, you surprisingly didn't do that much damage, so pretty nice. Now we're moving on to the Pokemon League, but first we're going to face our last rival battle of the game. At 2 hours, 14 minutes, and 18 seconds, we start this battle. Sneasel comes out. We're going to go for Safeguard, and then we're going to go for Defense Curl. Even though we get our defense lowered here, we do have the flag up that makes rollout more effective. So what happens when you do Defense Curl? It actually doubles the output of rollout. I don't know why. I think it's because you get physically stronger and harder, so it does more damage. I think that's what it is. But you only need to do it one time. It's not like Defense Curl. If you do Defense Curl multiple times, your defense goes up multiple times. That's not how it works. You just do it one time, and then it doubles the output of rollout. So we're doing very well. We're knocking out these Pokemon, and we have 2 Pokemon left. Do we restart? We do. Rollout does a lot of damage. Look how much more damage that does than what it usually does. Usually you have to have 1 or 2 attack or 3 attacks on the first Pokemon you're fighting. But in this case, we actually do pretty well. We knock out the Golbat, and I'll just hit it one more time. Just don't be confused. Once we restart, it's fine. It's not going to heal. If we hit it, yeah, there we go. Like I said, that accuracy on this move is so tedious and annoying. So we're going to move right on to the Elite Four. We're going to go ahead and pause real quick. We're going to show the moves and our stats. First thing we're going to show is the moves. Our moves aren't going to change. We have Defense Curl, we have Rollout, we have Rest, and Safeguard. The whole strategy is based around Rollout. This is what I mean by saying it's an all-in strategy. It's a strategy that when it works great. But when it doesn't work, it's frustrating, and it's something we have to contend with. We also have the Quick Claw equipped. We also could throw some other things out there. We could throw the Soft Sand and, the Hard Stone, make things more powerful. We can also equip a Berry if we're afraid of getting paralyzed or confused. I think we actually used the Bitter Berry on, was it Karen? Karen in this one, so that's just something I want to let you guys know. And our stats going into battle, I'm not going to actually show the lower stats. I'm going to show the stats in the bottom left corner. HP is 134, attack is 70, defense is 348, special attack is 70, plus defense is 309, and speed is 65. Let's go ahead and face our first member of the Elite Four. That is Will. Now, Will has some Pokemon that are weak to rock moves, so it starts out with a Xatu. So by getting our rollout going, Xatu will be pretty easy. Let's go ahead and save, and we're going to go ahead and face Will. He's a Psychic Specialist. Like I said, he leads out with a Xatu. Xatu, it can do some stuff to us. The worst thing it can do to us right now is actually just go for... Psychic's not too bad, but it can lower our special defense. We don't want that. Confuse Ray is the worst thing. I hate Confuse Ray. It's one of the worst moves ever. And we're going to knock out this Xatu. So now we got our thing rolling. Now look, 360 effective power. Top left corner, it shows the power that's going to happen on the next turn. Now, Xatu was weak to us, so it doubled it. But Jinx, if we just hit, it's the problem with this stupid move, is it misses so freaking frequently. And when we hit, and it rolls out, and it hits Pokemon, it does great. It's just so inconsistent. And we do knock out the Slowbo. So we get a first try victory over Will. A little bit of a frustrating victory, and that's going to be a trend. You're going to see here in a minute, we have a member of the Elite Four that we face, and it's just going to be very frustrating. But we're going to save. We did heal up, and we're going to face Koga. Rollout is very effective against Koga. His first couple Pokemon, he has 3 or 4 of his Pokemon are actually weak to rock moves. So we're going to go ahead and set up the Defense Curl. Come on, set it up. Very good. And we're going to go for a rollout. We're going to start it right away. We missed. Oh, that's fun. Well, it went for double team, so I can justify the missing there because it went for double team up and gets evasion. We knock out the Ariados. We two-shot the Fortress. That's pretty nice. We're going to have to restart. We're going to have to restart because he went for Protect. So 2-hit knockout. He explodes himself. We take no damage from that explosion. Very little damage at all. Muck is a 2-hit. Very good. Now, if we roll into these next two Pokemon, we can knock it out. Very good. And it's Crobat a one-shot. I don't know if we have to restart or not. I don't know. I wish I had a counter on here. Nope, we got to restart because he went for double team as well, and now we're poisoned. So we have to roll into this attack. We do knock it out. The poison does not affect us in this battle. Get the win against Koga, and we're going to move right on and face Bruno. We don't talk about Bruno very much. In Generation 2, though, he is an effective opposition. Let's go ahead and face Bruno. Bruno, what we don't want here is the first Pokemon's kind of a pain in the butt. The first Pokemon is Hitmontop. He's going to go for Dig. So Dig is going to, every time it's going to break our chain of rollouts. So rollout, you have to hit consistently for the damage to accrue and to double every turn. And he's going to affect that because he's going to keep going for Dig. Which Dig does okay damage to us, I guess. I mean, 2 damage isn't that much. But the problem with this is it's using all of our power points. And we only have 5 rollouts left. So what we want to hit here. And if we don't hit on this next one and roll our damage into this, actually, yeah, we're going to take a reset here because we're going to almost be out of power point. Oh, okay, so we knock out. Let's see how this plays out. I don't remember if we did a reset here or not. We only have 3 power points left on rollout. So there's a miss. That's fun. So now we got to restart. Cross Chop does a decent amount of damage to us. Right there, crits. So that's not fun. He misses Cross Chop finally. Now we're at the point where I think if we hit, we can knock out the Machamp. And if we roll into Hitmonlee and Hitmonchan correctly, we can knock it out. We do take a high jump kick, but it doesn't do that much damage to us. And then Hitmonchan. Are we going to knock out the Hitmonchan? Nope, we have to restart. But Mach Punch doesn't do that much damage. Only doing about 5 damage. We got plenty of hit points left. We just got to hit rollout one more time. Actually, we're going to go for rest. That's smart on my part. But we only have 1 more rollout, so that's the problem. If we miss this rollout, if we miss it all, and we don't knock out this Pokemon, we could lose here. But if we miss a rollout, we don't miss. Thank goodness. I did not want to have to restart this battle. This battle took a decent amount of time because we had to spam out and hit the Hitmontop. But now we move on to Karen. Now she is the problem. She is the problem because she goes for Sand Attack every stinking time. There is an occasion where she'll go for Confuse Ray and confuse us, which confusing isn't that bad because we can just equip the Bitter Berry and deal with it. There's nothing we can do to avoid Sand Attack unless we one-shot it and knock it out. Now this is where another move might be great. Is if, like, for example, its speed is 70. If we were a couple levels higher, we might be able to use Headbutt and like make it flinch. That's possible here, but like I said, we're completely beholden to the move rollout. So if we miss the damage output that we're having, so I'm speeding up the footage here because we have a whole bunch of resets against Karen. I don't know how many resets we had going. I think we had 18 when we went into this. So we have 2 resets so far, and Vileplume. This is actually pretty decent, going pretty decent right now because we only have 1 accuracy done. She's not doing a lot of damage to us with Petal Dance. So now we just got to start our rollout one more time. Roll out again, knock it out, very good. So this one's actually going pretty well. If we don't miss a rollout again, we're fine. We knock out the Houndoom, we get to the last Pokemon, Murkrow. All we had to do is hit the Murkrow 1 time. I think we hit it 1 time, we'd have won because it's weak to rollout. And we have the Defense Curl Flag equipped, so it was doubling our damage. I think we would have won that. So that one got very close, and now we're fighting again. And this is just a frustrating battle of attrition. It's all it is. Quick Claw is not in any way helping us here because we still need to go for Defense Curl every time, and it gives us an opportunity to lower accuracy. It gives us an opportunity to confuse us. We don't have a one-shot capability. We don't have any. It's like this rollout strategy. It's strictly you go all in on it, or it's nothing. And when it works, it works. It works very well. When it doesn't work, it can be very detrimental. So Gengar comes out to one-shot. We have 2 Pokemon left. We're down to kind of the same situation we just had. Now, I think I slowed it down speed-wise. So I think this is the playthrough where we actually get it done. Now, Murkrow is not going to do that much damage to us. It's not going to do anything to us. None of its moves are going to be super effective. So we healed just to put ourselves in a good spot. And I'm making it so we can't have any... I don't know why I did that. There's nothing it can do to us. It can't put us to sleep, can't paralyze us. I don't know why I went for Safeguard. That was a waste of turn. But we one-shot both Murkrow and the Houndoom. We do get the win over Karen. But we did take about 7 resets there. I sped it up. And some of those resets were very quick because I got confused right away or got Sand Attacked right away. So now we move on to the champion Lance, a liar with the flyers. And because he's a flyer, we have good news here. We can go for a rollout, and Safeguard. So Safeguard's going to stop us from getting paralyzed by the Dragonites. But we're going to go for Rollout. And Rollout does a decent amount of damage and knocks out the Gyarados. A 2-hit knockout. Honestly, I think the Quick Claw activated there because I think Gyarados is supposed to outspeed us. So we will one-shot the Aerodactyl. Very good. It rolled into the Aerodactyl. Does it roll into the Charizard? I think it does. There we go. Knockout on the Charizard. Very good. And now we have 3 Pokemon left. They don't have anything great against me. Like, nothing's going to do a lot of damage. So as long as we're still hitting, we're fine. So Dragonite number 2 comes out. We're going to go for Rest and going to heal up. Like I said, nothing he has is going to do a lot of damage. Look at Blizzard. It's only doing about, what is that, 17 damage? Yeah. No, 12. No, not even that. No, that's about 17. And we're going to go for Safeguard so he can't paralyze us. And we're going to go for Rest again. Yep. Okay, so that we're going to waste another turn doing this. It's going to offset the damage. That's all we're doing there. We should have just gone for Rollout, gone for Broke. So once we wake up, it's good that it went for Hyper Beam so we take a turn without it damaging us. Thunder Wave, man, it is what it is, but it's not that big a deal because if we just hit one more Rollout, we got this. And we do. Very good. So we get a win over Lance, the champion, the first try victory. He's very happy about that. So that's what I mean. A gimmick Pokemon, you wouldn't get these first try victories. And so with the time locked into the Elite Four, we beat the Elite Four at 2 hours, 31 minutes, and 35 seconds. Is this a horrible time? Yes. Is it the worst time we've ever had with the Elite Four? No. There's one Pokemon that's been worse. Could this have been better? Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, this is a little bit of a luck-based strategy. I'd like in the future just maybe analyze this Pokemon a little bit more. Maybe there's a hidden power that we can use. Maybe Return can be more effective. There's got to be something better with this Pokemon. Rollout strategies, they do work. And based on if it works every time, it is a great strategy to do. However, you just leave too many things to chance. We are going to move on to Kanto. Now in Kanto, we are not going to showcase every gym leader. There's been a long video up to this point. I don't want to subject you guys to some tediousness. All the gym leaders were easy, except for, all the landmark fights were easy. So landmark fights, if you don't know what I mean by landmark fight, any gym leader, any rival battle, any member of Elite Four, any battle you have to have the rest of the plot is what I consider a landmark fight. You have to do it. All the landmark fights are pretty easy except for the last 2, and those are the ones I'm going to showcase. So I'll see you guys in Kanto. We are in Kanto now, and like I said, we're not going to showcase the other gym leaders. The only one that really gave us any problems was Misty because she has water moves and we're weak to water, but everything else was pretty consistent. So now we're going to face Blue. Blue is a mixed attacker. He is the last gym leader we have to deal with before we can take on Red. Let's go and watch this battle. We've added a new item, the Leftovers. With our high defense and how little damage we take from the opposition, it pretty much replenishes our health so quickly. And so right now we've taken a hit from Pidgeot. Not a big hit, but it is what it is. So we went for Defense Curl first, and then we went for Safeguard, and now we're going for Rollout. Rollout will 2-hit the Pidgeot, very good. And the next Pokemon to come out is the worst Pokemon we can have right now, which is Rhydon, but Rhydon really can't do a lot to us, so it is what it is. Rollout, one more Rollout will knock it out. As soon as it hits. Come on, as soon as it hits. Come on. Leftovers. Now, here's the thing about Leftovers. It adds text every time, so that takes a little bit more time. But with this Pokemon, it doesn't matter at this point. We're almost at 3 hours. Rollout is it should be like almost a 2-shot with the Gyarados, but we had to restart because we keep missing. That's the problem with this. Now, Hydro Pump's been doing a lot of damage. We get this Pokemon into healing range, which is actually good for us. So I think if a Hydro Pump would have knocked us out there, which gives us the opportunity to replenish some health. So we Full Restores again, and it gives us an opportunity to replenish some health, and we do knock out the Gyarados. We roll that damage into the Executor. The Executor is going to go down as well to 1. Very good. And he was going for Solar Beam. I don't know if that would have knocked us out or not. I don't think we're not weak to Solar Beam, so I don't know if it would have knocked us out. We do knock out the Arcanine. Very good. And then the last Pokemon we have to deal with is Alakazam. Now we have to restart this. Psychic doesn't do that much damage. And as long as we can tank another one, he went for Disable, which is fine. We get the win over Blue. First try victory. I was not expecting a first try victory over Blue. He usually is a little bit more problematic. This is what I mean by this Pokemon. It's not quite a gimmick Pokemon. It has some gimmicks to it, but I don't think it's a gimmick Pokemon. I think there's actually a legitimate strategy you can do with this Pokemon. And I'll watch Scott's Thoughts do this and get this done around 2 hours. So there's definitely a way to do this. Now we're facing Blue. We're facing Red. In Red, you want to start off with Defense Curl. It gives that little flag that doubles the output of Rollout. Also ups our defense by 2 stages. And we're going to pair that with the move Curse. If you don't know what Curse does, Curse will will lower your speed, which we're already are not going to outspeed anything anyway, so that's not a big deal. But it ups your attack and defense by 1 stage. So we can do this a couple times, and now we're going to start using Rollout. Once we start using Rollout, and we start accumulating damage, so that's not a one-shot on Pikachu. So he's going to go for a Full Restore. Now we're going to one-shot on Pikachu. 405 effective power. Now Blast Rush rolls in. He's going to go for Rain Dance, which is fine. It doesn't attack us. It probably wouldn't have one-shot us or anything, but it would have definitely done some damage because it has water moves and we're weak to water. Roll out on the Snorlax. Now the sun is out, so what I want him to do is bring out Charizard, because then Charizard can't do any damage to us. Venusaur comes out, roll out, we'll one-shot the Venusaur, very good. Like I said, when the strategy works, it works very well. And the sun is out again, so he does a decent amount of damage with Flamethrower, but we one-shot the Charizard. And the last Pokemon to come out is Espeon. It's actually the Pokemon that probably should have come out second. And the reason why I say that is it could have gone for Reflect and really screwed up my damage output. But we do get the win over Red on the first try. So we only have 27 resets at the Elite Four. 3 hours, 2 minutes, and 41 seconds. I can 100% get this under 3 hours. I have no question in my mind. The only question I have is, can I get this done around like 2.5 hours? We will not know this for a while. I'm not playing another playthrough of this Pokemon for a long time, but we do have to look at the tier list real quick, so let's go ahead and check that out. So, with the time, 3 hours and 2 minutes and 41 seconds, or 182 minutes and 41 seconds as I have it on my little chart I have over here. Where does this put this Pokemon? Well, it puts it right here, right behind Sudowoodo, and right in front of Unknown. And I'm trying to get Unknown to move, and he won't move. There we go. So Unknown is actually worse than Shuckle. I think Unknown's actually more of a gimmick. Unknown has one move, and that one move is all in its hidden power, and you have to pick one type, and it just creates way too many problems with this Pokemon. Now, to be fair, 3 hours and 26 minutes, I think is what it was. So it's not the worst thing in the world. It's not the worst time, but Shuckle, let's talk about Shuckle. This is his video. Shuckle, not the worst thing ever. There's definitely worse Pokemon. There's definitely harder playthroughs you're going to have. And could we play through this Pokemon better? Yeah. I feel like there needs to be a more consistent strategy. The strategy works, but I feel like you just need to maybe just over level and rely on return and a hidden power or something like that to make this Pokemon a little bit more potent. And I think if you we can just over level and do that. This strategy does work. It's just not as consistent as I'd like a strategy to be. And that's just me and my, that's just how I am. I just like a strategy to be a lot more consistent. But there's definitely worse Pokemon than Shuckle. Like, we didn't play through Wobbuffet yet. We haven't done that. I tried to, and I had so many problems with it. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do this later. It's a very time-consuming Pokemon. There's some Pokemon you play through, and you guys invest like 8 to 10 hours. Because you're playing through, you're having all these difficulties, you're having all these problems, and then you just have there's a little bit of like mental fatigue that comes from those problems that you're having with those Pokemon. I'm just adjusting these guys a little bit. And look at Shuckle. He's just sitting there all happy that he's on the list. He's just a little cute little guy. And let's look at some playthroughs we're going to have coming up. So next week, we're going to be playing through with Heracross. I'm very excited about this playthrough. Heracross is a very good Pokemon. This is one of the Pokemon that I seek out. And it's a little bit difficult to find in the early game, but it's a Pokemon I seek out. Once you get Headbutt, you can go headbutt some trees and find this Pokemon. So I'm very excited about this Pokemon. I think this Pokemon is going to do very well. I don't know how well or bad this Pokemon is going to do when it comes to its optimized, or not optimized. Yeah, optimized. Like if it gets any moves from oppositions or anything. I'm looking it up right now. And let's see here. It starts out with, it gets, horn attack at 6. That's pretty good. We get Reversal and Mega Horn later. What do we get via? Yeah, I don't know if there's any great moves that we can have, but there is a Seismic Toss event move that we can have for this Pokemon, so I might attempt that. But yeah, that's what's going to come out next Wednesday. I'm excited about that playthrough. This Friday, I'm going to try to squeeze this in. Like I said, I've been having problems with my controller, and I tried to do couple other, like the second round rock playthroughs, and Kabutops and Mamastar, and the maneuverability was just a huge problem. So I've switched to like an older controller, and it's not wireless, it's wired, but I think it's going to get the job done. I think I'll get a decent playthrough out of this Pokemon as well. I hope to have that done by Friday. Today is Wednesday, and it's 5:36 in the morning. I'm doing my voiceover, and I'm going to do the sound edit and post it and everything. So hopefully that goes well, and I can start into my Weezing playthrough. But I want to thank everyone for stopping by. This has been a long playthrough. It's been one of the longest videos I've had in a while on this channel. I used to have all my videos just be about 50 minutes, but 50 minutes to an hour. But I've just decided that people don't want to watch 50 minutes of me talking. They want to watch about maybe 20 to 25. But to thoroughly showcase the struggles with this Pokemon, I needed to have a video that was close to between 50 minutes and an hour. So I want to thank everyone for watching, and make sure you tune in Friday for my Weezing playthrough. Next week, like I said, I'm very excited for my Heracross playthrough next week. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. This is JD. This is Pokémon Wrath. Have a good one. I'll see you guys next time.